Did you know that having at least 2 impairments severely interfering with your daily life indicates dementia? Incredibly, about 80% of people that have dementia don't even know. That's why inside this video, we'll go over 10 warning signs to know if you already have dementia. We will also provide a formula which has proven to lower the chances of dementia by 30%. So stick around. Let's start with understanding what dementia really means. In layman's words, dementia is the loss of the ability to think, remember, and reason. Mental decline is a hallmark of dementia. It is associated with memory issues, personality disorders, and poor thinking because it entails a reduction in the capacity to complete mental tasks. Also, there are other forms of dementia, the most common of which is Alzheimer's disease. It is a brain condition that gradually affects thinking and memory abilities, as well as the capacity to complete even the most basic tasks. Other forms of dementia include vascular dementia, which is typically observed in stroke patients, and Lewy body dementia, which is characterized by numerous silent infarcts and protein clumps. Whatever the kind, there isn't much they can do about it. It's more of an intellectual exercise in categorization. So let's look at the warning signs of dementia. Let's start with one common problem among a lot of older individuals, usually mistaken for old age. Number 10 is a challenge with solving problems. So this is when someone is having difficulty formulating a plan for work, or an activity they wish to perform, or when they are having difficulty following a familiar recipe. The recipe they may not recall may be having 2 or 3 eggs, using water to create a dish, or how long they must cook it. More specifically, affected individuals may need assistance managing their monthly costs because they forget that they are required to do so, or because they may find it harder to concentrate. They will also have problems completing tasks on time. Compared to typical age-related changes in which some people make occasional errors in checkbooks, but eventually recall the mistake they made, this is not the same for dementia. In dementia, the loss of memory continues to reoccur, while in age-related changes, the loss of memory is a one-off. If you know someone who struggles to play a game at which they excel, then you need to warn them about a possible state of dementia. Do you know anyone who has difficulties remembering things? Then you should pay attention to this. At number 9 is the inability to recall new knowledge. The inability to remember new knowledge is a typical symptom of dementia. Because of this, they handle old information well. They can tell you everything about their upbringing since their long-term memory is still intact. But they're unable to recall their breakfast or the conversation you had 5 minutes ago. They may need to remember crucial dates, ask you the same questions, or repeat the same information repeatedly. Or you may notice that they rely a lot more on memory aids. Memory aids are a compensating method for them, and this may be accomplished by using sticky notes. This is different from normal aging, which includes forgetting someone's name or missing an appointment that they will likely remember afterward. At number 8, another sign may be difficulty completing familiar tasks at home or work, or even out when playing. Some people could struggle to remember how they got somewhere where they've been numerous times, how they manage their job budget, or even the rules of a game. That becomes more challenging and differs from the ordinary age-related changes where you might need help with the microwave settings or when attempting to record a television program. So again, if they're at their own house and you are detecting a new concern, you need to be aware of it. Do you have a loved one who struggles to remember what year or month it is? This is another warning symptom of dementia. At number 7, we have confusion with time and place. People who have Alzheimer's disease may lose track of time. Again, this differs from situations where you mix up your calendars and dates. This is someone who didn't realize it was summer outdoors when it was, and they would tell you it was winter. They may tell you a story from 2002 when it's 2020. Or they might speak as if it's 1960. All of these are warning signals compared to natural aging, where you could be confused about what day of the week it is, but you know to grab your calendar or bring out your iPhone to find out what day it is. Number 6, they might have trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. Pretty sure you're wondering what this means and how it relates to dementia, so let's break it down. Having visual issues might be an indication of Alzheimer's. They may have difficulties reading, gauging distances, or distinguishing color and contrast, leading to driving difficulties. This is different from having a vision impairment caused by a cataract, glaucoma, or age-related macular degeneration. Those are actual visual issues. But Alzheimer's affects the visual section of the brain. When you're young, you have 180-degree peripheral vision, and by the time you're 65, that drops to about 45 degrees. But what happens with Alzheimer's disease is that the visual field shrinks and shrinks. So by the time someone has very advanced dementia, they have monocular vision, which then drops to binocular vision. So with highly advanced dementia, we'd see individuals reaching across the table to eat someone else's food, and everyone would say, "But your food is right here in front of you." If you notice anything similar, you cannot ignore it. Have you ever noticed your loved ones having difficulty constructing sentences? It could be something worth paying attention to. At number 5, another common sign is problems with words. They may occasionally have difficulty speaking, writing, and using new words. This person may need help following a discussion, or they could just stop in the middle of telling you a story and will need help figuring out what the next thing is to say. Sometimes they may repeat the same tale over and over again unknowingly, so such signs shouldn't be ignored. Number 4. Misplacing items and being unable to retrace steps. It is essential to pay attention if someone misplaces things or if they may tend to lose their ability to retrace their steps to find it. So, we've all misplaced items before, but typically you always retrace your steps and figure out where or when you may have lost it. The inability to do so often happens in people with early Alzheimer's. They begin to get a little paranoid, so they may hide things and need to remember where they put them. Plus, sometimes they might even blame you for stealing it, and this would occur frequently over time. So if you notice this in anyone and it keeps reoccurring, it might be dementia. Did you know that a warning sign of dementia is having decreased and poor judgments? That will bring us to number 3. Decreased and poor judgment enters the decision-making process, so they may believe they have a greater capacity to care for themselves than they actually have. They may have poor decisions when dealing with money, making them vulnerable to scams. For example, someone may call them demanding money or their bank details. If they're isolated at home, this puts them at risk of sending the requested amount to the scammer, or even worse, giving out their banking details. You might also observe them giving less attention to their personal hygiene. If this is recognized, it's crucial to intervene and assist them. Did you know that lack of interest is also another warning sign of dementia? Number 2, lack of interest, also referred to as apathy. It's a typical symptom of early dementia. People with dementia may lose interest in hobbies or activities that they formerly enjoyed. They may no longer desire to go out or have fun. They may also appear emotionally flat and lose interest in spending time with friends and family. It's essential to pay attention to their mood and personality, and this relates to the final warning sign. At number 1, we have personality and mood changes. Have you been noticing erratic changes in your moods and personality? Look out, because it's also a warning sign for dementia. Dementia is often associated with mood swings. For example, early dementia often includes depression. Dementia patients may appear more afraid or worried than they were previously. They may become easily disturbed if their typical daily routine is disrupted or if they're placed in strange surroundings. You may notice a change in personality in addition to mood changes. One ordinary sort of personality change associated with dementia is a transition from timid or quiet to extroverted. Now, we mentioned earlier that we'll provide a solution that has worked to treat dementia. So click this video showing on your screen right now and get solutions. Thank you for being so patient up to this point. It's greatly appreciated. Subscribe and enable alerts to avoid missing out on future videos from us and much more. Check out this video to learn more about how to care for your body, and we'll see you in the following video. Stay safe.